In modern Guyanese politics, few figures have sparked as much debate, fascination, and controversy as Azzrudin Mohammed. Known primarily as a wealthy businessman and later as a political aspirant, Mohammed's entry into public life blurred the lines between private influence and public power, turning him into one of the most polarizing figures in recent political discourse. To supporters, he represented youthful ambition, financial independence, and an outsider's challenge to the political establishment. To critics, he symbolized unchecked wealth entering politics, raising questions about influence, accountability, and transparency. Either way, Azzrudin Mohammed became impossible to ignore. Please subscribe as we dive in. Roots in Business and Privilege. Azzrudin Mohammed is the son of Nazar Shell Mohammed, a prominent Guyanese businessman whose name has long been associated with large-scale enterprises, particularly in the fuel and logistics sectors. Growing up in a family of immense economic power meant Azzrudin was exposed early to business strategy, negotiations, and high-stakes decision-making. Unlike many politicians who rise through grassroots activism or party structures, Mohammed's early prominence came from economic visibility rather than political organizing. This background would later become both his greatest advantage and his biggest vulnerability. From a young age, he cultivated an image of confidence and sophistication, often portrayed as articulate, assertive, and unafraid of controversy. These traits, while admired by some, made others uneasy when he transitioned toward public office. The leap into politics. Mohammed's political ambitions became unmistakable when he aligned himself with the People's Progressive Party, Civic, PPP/C, one of Guyana's dominant political forces. His entry into politics did not follow the traditional slow climb through party ranks. Instead, it was sudden, highly visible, and immediately controversial. His nomination as a parliamentary candidate drew national attention, not just because of his youth, but because of his family name and wealth. Critics questioned whether political candidacy was being earned or purchased, while supporters argued that financial independence freed him from corruption and external control. This debate set the tone for everything that followed, a political style that provoked. Azzrudin Mohammed's political presence stood out for its directness and defiance. Unlike many politicians who rely on cautious language, he often spoke plainly and assertively, particularly on issues of governance, fairness, and political loyalty. However, this style frequently placed him at odds with opponents and even uncomfortable allies. His critics accused him of arrogance and entitlement, while his supporters viewed the same traits as evidence of strength and fearlessness. In a political culture deeply shaped by history, ethnicity, and party loyalty, Mohammed's tone disrupted expectations. He was neither a traditional party loyalist nor a neutral technocrat. He was something else entirely, and Guyana was not sure what to make of it. The shadow of international controversy. No discussion of Azzrudin Mohammed's politics can ignore the international scrutiny that surrounded his family. Public reports linking his father to sanctions by foreign governments cast a long shadow over his political career. Although Azzrudin himself was not accused of criminal wrongdoing, the association alone became a powerful political weapon. Opponents argued that his presence in government risked damaging Guyana's international reputation, especially at a time when the country was gaining global attention due to its oil discoveries. Supporters countered that guilt by association was unjust, and that Azzrudin should be judged on his own actions, not those of his relatives. This clash of perspectives intensified public debate and hardened political divisions. A sudden fall from parliamentary politics. The controversy reached a climax when Azzrudin Mohammed's political career faced abrupt disruption. His parliamentary ambitions were cut short, following developments that effectively removed him from active political participation. This moment marked one of the most dramatic episodes in recent Guyanese political history. For critics, it was proof that his political rise had been unsustainable. For supporters, it was evidence of political targeting and selective enforcement. What remained undeniable was the speed with which his political ascent stalled, raising questions about how power, law, and politics intersect in small but globally connected states. Public reaction: a nation divided. Few figures have produced such sharply divided reactions. On social media, in political forums, and on the streets, Mohammed became a symbol onto which broader frustrations were projected. Some saw him as a victim of political rivalry, a scapegoat for larger geopolitical tensions, a young man punished for challenging entrenched interests. Others viewed him as an example of elite privilege entering politics, a liability to national credibility, proof that wealth should not shortcut political legitimacy. These conflicting interpretations ensured that his name remained in public conversation long after his formal political role ended. Legacy and political meaning. Even without holding office today, Azzrudin Mohammed's political story carries lasting significance. His rise and fall highlighted uncomfortable truths about power in modern Guyana, how economics, foreign policy, party loyalty, and public perception collide. He forced the country to confront questions such as, should wealth disqualify or empower political leadership? Where does personal accountability end and family association begin? How much influence do international actors have over domestic politics? These are questions that extend far beyond one individual. Azzrudin Mohammed may no longer occupy a seat in parliament, but his impact on Guyanese political discourse endures. He represents a moment of reckoning, when the boundaries between money, politics, and sovereignty were openly tested. Whether remembered as a cautionary tale or a misunderstood disruptor, one fact remains clear: Azzrudin Mohammed changed the conversation. In doing so, he became one of the most controversial political figures of his generation, not because of how long he served, but because of what his story revealed about power itself. Please subscribe for more.